The name of the SIG back then was ESD, Education for Sustainable Development. And it echoed a lot of the messaging from UNESCO back then. Think about it, it was in the middle of the decade for Education for Sustainable Development that UNESCO led. And Ligia really absorbed all the content and framing from UNESCO and brought it to CIES. So it felt sometimes that we are not being as critical of the discourse and just replicating it within the society. Looking back, it might be the best way to start, but as a member, I was looking for more critical take on this. Given my experience, I had a couple of ideas. One was to create a social media. So we had a Twitter account that we created back then. We enlisted as many members as we could. So in every session, we would give people the opportunity to sign up, even if they're not paid members. We just invited them. After a year or two, we had like 200 people on the listserv. We had 70-some members, paid members. We were able to do good stuff. And one of the main thing I did toward in my last year, 2014, 2015, was to initiate a discussion about changing the name of the SIG. I found it weird that environment wasn't in the title, because if we care about the planet, that needs to be part of the name. The process was very open. We had people commenting online. We had people coming to a panel, like a round table that we had at CIES. So I felt like we really allowed many people to express their opinions on this. And you know, it was a very nice discussion. I'm happy that we changed the name, and we launched a paper award for students to encourage them to work on sustainability. So for me, changing the name and emphasizing the environment was critical. Moving away from the UNESCO discourse and establishing our own take on this was also important. Encouraging scholarship on the topic for me was really important. So I was less interested in people writing or talking in panels about, I did this in my school, and I wanted to hear more research papers. And I think using the student paper award was a way to encourage that from happening. We did two more things as informal. It wasn't part of the SIG activity, but we did it. The students who were part of the SIG did that. So one was we wrote the first op-ed in the CIES newsletter on it's time to green the society. And that was published in 2012. And we also organized visits to 3 eco schools in Puerto Rico during the meeting. And that was amazing. 3 schools that engaged with sustainability. One of them was a certified eco school, the 2 others weren't. The pictures that we took there, the experience was amazing. The SIG, I think, need to pay more attention to climate change and climate change education. I was hesitant to join that type of work in the past. I felt that introducing new concepts every decade is not useful. But I'm realizing that the climate is such a crisis that we have to focus on this. Recycling plastic is not going to help us. So we need to come up with guidelines for how to host CIES conferences in a sustainable manner. We need to make sure that CIES endowment is invested in the right place. We have no information about this. If we are investing in fossil fuel companies or in the prison complex industry, we don't know. So we have to make sure that our endowment is being done in an ethical way as well. We might want to convince CIES that smaller conferences might be better than larger conferences. I think that COVID is asking us to justify a lot of the activities we've been doing for many years. Like, what is the added value of coming together 3,000 people in one place?